Hey, I'm the Reverend Russell. This is the hardestquestion.org, where we ask the lectionary text each week the hardest question that we can because we can. Well, it's primary election day here in the state of Minnesota, which is super early. I know it's August, but I guess early primary elects the first worm. I don't know. It's also raining really hard outside. Um, which is good, I guess. We need the rain. One day a real rain will come and wash all the scum from the street. Year C, Ordinary 20. This week we're so lucky to have Phyllis Tickle asking the hardest question for us, writing on the blog. She addresses the Psalm 82, which is I don't know, it's a weird one. It's an odd one, but I guess you could say that about, a lot of Psalms. Well, the whole Bible in general is kind of odd, but yeah, this one seems more like it's from Greek myth or something like that. Just the way it starts out, that God, what does it say here? That God has taken his place in the divine council, and he sits among the gods and judges. And then later on in the text, it ends. It says, I say that you are gods, children of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, you shall die like mortals and fall like any prince. The hardest question that Phyllis asks in this text is really a most basic and profound theological question. She gets there, which she says, like, well, who are we and who is God as one among us? I think what she's really trying to get at here is how are we like God? In what way? Spend so much time talking about how we are so not like God, that God is so beyond us and not like us. But we do have a God that was in flesh, that became human. But so this really looks at saying God is in his council, high council among the other gods, and we are gods. How is it that we are like God, and how is God like us? It seems like, is this mocking? I guess if I was looking at it, I would see this, the way I read it now, is kind of, I don't know, sarcastic or reflecting how I think that's the way we think of things, that God is up there in the high council chamber, and we are among the lesser gods in the royal court, and we're up there judging with God. But I think this psalm makes it clear that, yeah, we're gods, we think we're gods, but we will die like mortals, fall like any prince. It's kind of funny, I think, really. Maybe if I was preaching this, I would say that this is sort of like maybe this sort of satiric reinterpretation of a sort of Greek myth, applying it to the hubris of humanity. Psalm 82. Then also Phyllis looks at the gospel text, Luke 12:49 through 56. And this is a great one. I mean, I love when in the Gospels when Jesus gets his prophet on. He comes out there raging, and this is a perfect raging text. He starts out this classic rage about the fire, and the way he puts it here is so great. I came to bring fire to the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. Wow. And then he goes on to say, do you think I've come to bring peace to the earth? No, I've come to bring division, to separate. And then he enumerates all the different relationships that he's going to separate. Jesus goes on and says, you hypocrites, you can look at the weather and tell if it's going to rain. You can look at the sun, and you can judge the weather, but you cannot interpret the signs of this present time. Wow, that's weird. What are the signs of this present time? Well, let me see where Phyllis goes with this. Phyllis goes right to the fire. She focuses on the fire at the beginning, and she just asks this simple question, what is this fire? What is it going to burn? And then why? Why is Jesus so wish that it were already here, and that this fire was already kindled, and it was already burning? And that's a good question. Why do we need fire? I mean, she looks for a different kind of peace. That even Jesus says, "I didn't come to bring peace but division," but finds in the mystery of the text that there's some other peace there that Jesus is bringing by dividing us, by breaking down our cultural power structures, I guess you could say, that there is a kind of peace that comes from disrupting uh, the systems that we have created. Maybe I'm putting a little bit too much in Phyllis's mouth, but I think that's what she's getting at. If I were going to preach on this, and well, I am going to preach on this week, I think the thing that I would focus on myself would be this last bit here, where he talks about interpreting the times. He also says to the crowd, when you see a cloud rising in the west, you immediately say, "Is it going to rain?" And so it happens. And when you see the south wind blowing, you say, "There will be scorching heat," and it happens. You hypocrites, you know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky, but you do not know how to interpret this present time. You know what? I would go straight to this. You know what? Jesus, you're right. I don't. I don't know what you're talking about, actually. And frankly, I'm really not a country boy. You know how I interpret the weather? I read the newspaper. I go online, and that's how I can tell it's going to rain, or if it's going to be scorching heat. So I can't really interpret the sky or the earth, and I can't really interpret this present time. Like, what are you talking about? Is this a apocalyptic thing that's going to happen? Will this kind of peace that Phyllis talks about break out? Um, is a time coming when the Son of Man will bring division, and out of that division will become a new kind of peace, a different kind of peace? I don't know. I can't interpret the times. And if this is going to come, I mean, he wrote this, he supposedly said this a long time ago. The author of Luke wrote this quite some time ago. And so, what is this time that he's talking about? That doesn't seem like it's occurred yet. Where's this new kind of peace? That's what I want to know. I can't interpret the present time. I can't even reflect back on what he was talking about back then. So what exactly is going to happen that is like a fire raging, burning to bring division and, I don't know, something apocalyptically new? I don't know if you're preaching on these texts. Help us out. Go to thehardestquestion.org and in the comments, let us know how you're reading this text, and we can maybe work this out together. I'd like to see where other people are going with this. So I'm the Reverend Russell, and this is thehardestquestion.org. Thanks.